trust.
And now, folks, it's time for Who Do You Trust? Hubba, 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 money, money, money. Who do you trust? Me? I'm giving away free money. And where is the Batman? He's at home, washing his tights.
Winged battle flies through the night and finds me ready, Bob. Mask.
Mask! Put him on now! Hey! And now comes the part where I relieve you, the little people, of the burden of your failed and useless lives. But as my plastic surgeon always said, if you gotta go with a smile.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Welcome back, everybody. This is another episode of the Batman vs. James Bond show. We are a podcast, Take Two Podcast. Oh, yeah. Wait, do you not recognize our voices? I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
But we're not the Brian Thomas. Oh, yeah, that you guys are used to hearing. Fellow listeners of the Batman vs. Bond show, he hasn't had a show since January.
Yeah, which is sad. It's depressing. I cry about it monthly, at least.
Just monthly?
Oh, well, you know, I give him time because he's busy. He's helping
busy.
kids. He's doing all this great stuff. So I
True.
feel like I should give him time. But every month I wait and nothing.
Brian Thomas listeners, you know that his show was hot. It was heavy. It was very, very popular. And then he had to take a hiatus. We don't know. Maybe Bane broke his back.
That's what I sort of assumed.
Yeah, probably. And he disappeared for a little while. Had to take care of some family things. Maybe Goldfinger has him locked up.
Ooh, do you think there's slowly been a laser moving towards his crotch for 6 months?
Yeah.
That's what I sort of assumed.
Do you want me to podcast? No, Mr. Bond, I want you to die. For 6 months, they're just waiting for the laser to cut into him.
Really, really slow laser these days.
You guys are big fans of Brian Thomas. That's why you listen to his show. He's hot and heavy on Instagram, and he's amazing. And we are good friends with him. We are Take Two Podcast. We do sort of the same shtick, except we don't talk nearly enough Bond or Batman. And here's what we thought. We want another Batman vs. Bond show.
Right, and the best way to do that, since Brian Thomas is unable to give it to us, is for us to just do it for him.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a Batman vs. Bond show. We'll try and do it as much as like Brian Thomas would do it. And then you get to listen. And then we're going to start polls on Take Two Podcast. Should we bring back Brian Thomas?
I think that's a great idea.
Remember when they had the comic voting if Robin should die?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And everyone voted yes.
Right. We don't want him to die, though.
This is the opposite.
Okay, this is the opposite of that.
We're resurrecting
Got it.
Brian Thomas.
Got it. And the options are yes, we want him to come back,
Yeah.
or yes, we really want him to come back.
Right.
Okay.
So choose wisely.
Choose wisely. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in the realm of Brian Thomas fashion and the Batman vs. James Bond show, I am Brian. This is Craig. Take Two Podcast. We're going to take it away for you guys and start with some Batman news.
I think that is a great idea because there's been some big Batman news. Lots of Batman news since January when he last came out with his episode. But we'll go at least semi more recently. The newest thing that's come out is there has been news of the infamous Zack Snyder storyline that he had going forward.
Ooh, okay.
Because we all know what happened with the whole Justice League movie, that he started it and then he stopped, which, you know, for valid reasons. And then they changed a whole lot of the movie. And apparently there's been some conversation with Jay Olivia, who doesn't sound familiar. He directed the Batman Dark Knight Rises, like two-parter animated movie they had, which is really good. And then he was apparently also the storyboard artist for Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Wonder Woman.
Gotcha.
So he had lots of interaction with Patty Jenkins, with Zack Snyder, with all of them. And apparently what he came out and said is that Zack Snyder actually had a 5-movie arc that he was planning on doing.
Wow.
So there was going to be a 5th movie after Justice League 2, which was going to sort of wrap everything up. Mainly including the Superman character, because he said that's what started this whole arc, and that's how he wanted to end this whole arc, was that whole thing. So he had this whole idea of what would be after Justice League 2. and a whole fifth movie that was going to come forward. He didn't give too many more details, but all he said was, quote, it was going to be epic, grand, emotional, joyful, and unforgettable.
I believe it. I bet a big thing a lot of Superman fans were upset about was that they felt it was unfinished.
Yes.
His character was unfinished, and people didn't buy into it, and they didn't accept that this was a long arc. I bet you he even had a Batman arc of Affleck passing the torch.
I would imagine so, yeah.
You had 2 more films out of him. I bet he passed it down to whomever, to a Robin or a Nightwing.
Or whoever it was he was going to have
Or
followed.
they flash-pointed it to then just a younger Batman, which would have been fantastic.
Which would have been great, yeah. I think that would have been great.
It's a shame that WB screwed him over.
Yeah, there is. And he actually had a little sort of dig at them. I don't know if you follow the Zack Snyder on the Instagram.
Sure, yeah.
But he posted just this last week, he actually did his own Throwback Thursday hashtag where he had a picture of Flash from the Justice League movies looking at a giant image of Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, like looking at a giant poster size of her.
Wow.
And it said underneath there, Love at First Sight. Throwback
Really?
Thursday. So that was apparently something he had already shot, ready in the movie, that just wasn't in it.
That stings.
So it's another thing that I don't feel that we'll ever get like the full Zack Snyder what that Justice League was going to be.
Yeah.
Like we did with Batman vs Superman, but I think that's that whole idea that there even would have been more after this just makes me more annoyed that it didn't happen.
Yeah. Very sad. Almost as sad as not having one of my favorite podcasts for 6 months.
Exactly. Some people are just so selfish.
But we're here to fix that.
Yay, we're here to fix it.
Take Two podcast to the rescue. Folks, when you're done listening to Batman vs. James Bond show, Take Two podcast. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, and Podbean. We do TV, movie, comics, movie reviews, Hollywood news, and tons of spin-offs. Check into our spin-offs while you're at it. But that's not what this is about. We're not talking about those guys.
Screw those guys that are us. Was that a little Batman transition?
It was. I was trying. That's what I think he needs on a show. He needs that old school, the 60s
like
Batman
that.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, that'll also be in the voting. Yes, Batman versus Bond comes back. Really want Batman versus Bond. And number 3, he introduces the 60s.
The 60s,
sound effects.
Sound effects. Totally down with that. That was my favorite series anyway. It was the 66 series.
Okay, Biff, pow, next.
Next, we had some news that Andy Serkis wants to be involved in the Matt Reeves The Batman film that's coming out.
Sold.
Which I completely agree with. I mean, you already had... Matt Reeves actually did the last 2 Planet of the Apes, which obviously Andy Serkis was in as Caesar. So the main question is, though, who does Andy Serkis play?
I don't care. I love Andy Serkis.
I would go with that.
I think he's underrated and finally coming into his own popularity-wise.
Yes.
We've been fans of his on our show for a long time. And championing his popularity.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, like, he can go psycho. He can go nut job.
Oh, yes.
So if you wanted to go Joker, it could happen.
It could happen.
I think they might age him out on that. He might be too
I think
old.
so. And I think they've already got their own weird 9 different movie Joker plans they got going on. So
I was thinking, how about, like, if he's kind of a little off-kilter serial killer type Riddler?
I could see that. I mean, it's hard to beat the Jim Carrey Riddler.
Virtually impossible.
Exactly.
Because I love my Riddler in a onesie.
Who doesn't? Spinning a giant baton with a question mark on it.
Man-Bat would be cool.
Man-Bat would be good.
Already ready with the stop motion.
I could even see him doing Two-Face. Two-Face I could see working.
Actually, you know what?
I mean, he basically did that as Gollum.
Well, you know what? Screw it. Two-Face, let's get behind that.
I think that would be the way
Circus
for him
for
to go.
Two-Face.
Yeah, I think that would be the way to go.
Hashtag Circus for Two-Face.
Like I said, he already did in Lord of the Rings. So
yeah,
it's
valid.
Mm-hmm.
It's valid.
And that's all the big movie news I think we need to talk about.
Big movie Batman news.
Big movie Batman news. But we have some TV to discuss as well.
God, I'm terrible at that.
Yeah, we really need to work
Why
on
am I
that.
bad at that?
I don't know.
It's an easy chime.
And I've heard it literally thousands of times.
Biff, pow.
That's better. We'll stick with that. All right,
It's not
so
Biff, is it Biff? It is Biff.
it is Biff.
It is Biff.
Biff Pow. Yeah.
Say hi to your mom for me.
So the Arrowverse, which we all love and we adore,
Okay.
you know, for the most part.
Okay. Yeah.
They announced their next crossover for the next fall season is going to include Batwoman and Gotham City on it.
Nice.
So I like that. They actually had Stephen Amell came out at their like press junket, you know, for the new season coming up. He had a big poster behind him or a big like shot behind him, and it was Arrow, Supergirl, and Flash, and then up in the sky was the Batwoman symbol.
Nice.
like shining like the bat symbol, and Gotham City in the background. So he says it's all coming. It's coming out in December of this year is when the crossover event's supposed to happen.
So the Arrowverse is very in tune with diversity.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How much of that do you figure was a factor into Batwoman versus Batgirl, Nightwing? Because Batwoman is a lesbian in the comics.
Correct. Yes. Mm-hmm. Correct.
Do you feel that factored in any way?
I feel it could. I mean, it all depends on how they sort of go with this, because they had this whole angle of, at one point, Huntress turning into Batwoman, and they did that sort of thing, and then they had another Batwoman, and I would imagine, because they had that whole lesbian storyline on Supergirl,
right?
Which I think,
and it's over.
And it's over. It's done. So I hate to say that they're like, oh man, we need another lesbian storyline, but I kind of feel that's what they're doing, right?
I would say it was a factor, maybe not as big of a factor as we might be making. It might be like, hey, let's introduce a character.
Right.
Oh, by the way, we can also do this one, which will check Bing Bing and Bing Box.
Well, and I could also, honestly see them being like, well, we want to have another character. We want to have Batman somehow introduced into this. We can't do Batman. Like, let's not go crazy. We don't want to do Batgirl, because that's pretty popular. They're trying to do a whole Batgirl movie.
True.
So they're like, well, let's just choose somebody else. They're like, oh, Batwoman. A lot of people don't know about her. Like, they know her existence, but they don't know a lot. It's easier than trying to do Robin. Chris O'Donnell's too busy doing
and then there's
NCIS.
too many there's Chris O'Donnell.
Obviously.
Plus, there's too many Robins happening right now because
you got it in that Teen Titans
yeah.
show that's coming out, and so I think that's probably their best way to go. The one that's not being used for anything else.
I'm not against it in any way.
No, I completely agree.
For whatever reasons, I'm in. Throw Batwoman in there, throw Gotham in there, throw every reference under the sun in there.
Yeah,
I'm in on it. I was just when I first saw that, that was my immediate thought. I was like, oh wow, they're huge on the diversity. I wonder if that was a big factor.
And I think everybody had this whole theory that they were going to somehow incorporate the Gotham show into it, but there's no way to do that timeline-wise unless they do some sort of time jump or something like that. Like,
plus, what has now happened in Gotham,
they
had to have heard about it in Star City or something.
Exactly.
And gone to help out.
Exactly. So, speaking of shows, there's actually another Batman spinoff coming out, which is an Alfred spinoff.
Ooh.
Coming to the Epix network, which we all know and love, apparently. I guess, maybe.
Do I get that?
I don't even know if I get that.
On my Roku? I have to check.
We have to check. Right. But Epix, spelled with an X, so you know it's cool.
Okay.
All right, they have
I had the Epix spelled with a CS.
Oh, safe. You're screwed. They have a 10-episode series called Pennyworth coming out.
All right.
All about Alfred.
Now, who's playing Alfred?
They don't know. They haven't announced. I'm sure they know.
Sean Pertwee?
It is not. No, they said it is definitely not him. It is somebody else. But it's going to be his origin story from being a British soldier to starting some sort of secret company in London in the 1960s that he combines and makes with Thomas Wayne.
I mean,
to show how they started to become friends.
If it's the Gotham version of Alfred,
I'm totally down with that.
100%.
Yeah.
That'll be...
Like, in my mind, this is basically a mix of Gotham and Sherlock Holmes.
All right.
If they do it like that, I'm down with that.
Let Sean Pertwee... I think I'm saying his name.
I think so, yeah.
Pertwee?
Yeah. I mean, 10 episodes. He could shoot that while he's on break from Gotham.
And Gotham's almost done. Is that in your news?
Right. That is the next part.
Okay, sorry, spoiler. 2 minutes from now. But I mean, dye his hair darker.
Yeah.
Just age him down a little bit.
Age him down a little bit, I think it'd be fine.
Okay.
I mean, but I like it. Speaking of...
We've watched worse.
Watch DVR, own DVD sets too.
Bought box sets.
Box sets of... Come on. We both own all 10 seasons of Smallville. Some of those middle seasons weren't worth buying. Nope.
I even know someone that owns the entire collection of Birds of Prey on DVD.
I know, and I know somebody who borrowed it from me.
I'll get it back to you.
I mean, okay. So, speaking of Gotham, we should talk about it. It just ended.
Yes.
Gotham Season 4 ended. They've already been renewed for a Season 5. All right, and they've agreed, and they've come out and said it will be their 5th and final season. There's going to be nothing else after this. The executive producer was actually asked at one point, like, hey, how do you think you're going to move this next season forward? What are you going to do? And someone specifically asked him, is there going to be any sort of time jump or time hop with the next season? He said, I would say that's completely possible.
All right.
So, not saying it's not going to happen, not saying it is going to happen, but it's possible.
We're talking spoilery now?
I think we need to go all spoilery. If you were listening to this, you probably watched Gotham, and you will probably watch the season finale.
It's true. I would. All right, I'm down with the time jump minus David Mazouz, who plays Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
We met him, by the way. He's one of our co-hosts on Take Two podcast.
Right.
Tony's favorite actors.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Actress?
Actors.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
He has a very young face to me.
He does. He does. It's going to be hard to age him.
Yeah.
You know, you might be able to get away with like 2 years, but you're not getting away with 10.
Right. And then how this season ended with the city is now cut off from the rest of the country.
Yeah, the bridges exploded and it's its own...
So how many years are we going to go where they're just like, oh, they haven't sent the National Guard in yet. We're just surviving on our own.
Right.
For the past 6 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
P.S. Bruce Wayne is buff now.
Yeah, exactly. Bruce Wayne is buff and is completely taken.
Right.
Because, not that it really bothers me, but it bothers me. Because I am lame. Batman went to college and majored in criminal justice and psychology because he wanted to get in the mind of criminals.
Makes sense.
I wasn't smart enough to do that, so I majored in criminal justice and sociology.
Now, did you think you were writing psychology and that's how smart you weren't?
No, I just wasn't smart enough to take both majors, and sociology had blended enough with criminal justice classes, so I was okay with that. And now he hasn't even gone to college yet, so he can't be Batman until he goes to college, because my path to be Batman started this way, and now it's going to be completely screwed.
Ruin everything.
I know.
You'll feel like you wasted years of your life.
Years.
You could
and
just
thousands upon thousands of dollars.
This kid didn't even go to high school.
He didn't go to high school, I don't think.
They've definitely taken a lot of liberties with the Gotham show. I know there's a lot of fans out there that are meh on it because of that. Like how quickly he's becoming Batman, how he hasn't gone away after college to train with the League of Assassins. To then,
right.
That's where he gets his training. All of a sudden, this kid can then kick people's ass and stuff like that. Can we say that on?
I think we can say that. Yes, we're good.
But I've enjoyed it. I've liked it.
I think once you let that go, then you're like, all right, we can do this. Like this is, I'm good with this. I'm good with staying on this path. Yeah. Just entertain me, Gotham.
I mean, this season ended with the Joker shooting Catwoman.
Exactly. You know
what I mean? And the Riddler being stabbed.
I did notice, who's the guy that plays Joker? I don't remember what his real name is.
Cameron Monaghan.
That guy, he tweeted out when they were trying to figure out how to make the new, Joker that he is, Justin instead of Jerome, who he was before, make him, that apparently they do not have the rights or the ability to give him green hair or call him the Joker. Yeah. Because DC wanted that to stay with movies. So that's why they're going a little different with like orangey hair or purple hair or that sort of stuff.
It was a bummer that they could never call him that.
Right.
Maybe by the end of next season they'll be able to get to that, I hope. Mm-hmm. They sure as hell made up for it, though, in every outfit that he wore.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had, Ledger's entire outfit on in one scene. Mm-hmm. He had even a throwback to Leto, and then he ended it with wearing, what Jack wore.
Yeah, exactly, with the purple suit.
And the top hat and everything. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they have plenty of references just in his outfits to the old Joker movies.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that was a jab at DC Life. Screw you, we can't... screw you, we can't... say the name, so we're just going to put every Joker reference possible that we could.
Right. We'll do visual ones instead, and but I liked it. I think season 4 overall was a really good season. I think it ended really well and got you pumped to see whatever it is that they're doing with the 5th season by showing all those random villains at the end. Yeah, that you're like, oh, the city's going crazy now.
Right,
there's flying bats and everything.
And we've talked about this before. I love a show that, as sad as it is to see a show ending, that knows next season we're done.
Yes.
So therefore we can start right now. They haven't written a word of it yet, but going forward, this is our final season. These 20 episodes are done, and now they just ball out and make every episode of
and I want to say, didn't they get signed for, 13 episodes?
Was it 13 total?
I think it's 13 episodes total as opposed to the normal 22, which I think is good, because then they will spend more quality time on those 13.
Yeah, it'll be better. I'm looking forward to season 5. It should end with a bang, and I just hope they don't rush him into the bat suit,
Exactly.
I would love the final Like, I always thought the final scene of Smallville was him in the suit.
Yes.
And you just see it, like, one time.
Yeah.
And that was it. And they kind of did it a little bit in Smallville.
Yeah. A little better than that, I would like.
But this one, legit, like a full head-to-toe suit and everything. Like, that's the final scene of Gotham.
Yeah.
Like, he pulls up, they save the day, bing, and Gordon gets promoted to commissioner, and now he's Batman, and then that, that's...
And then you're just done with that, yeah.
End credits. That's how I hope it ends. But I like Gotham.
I like Gotham. I like it a lot, too. What do you think, folks? You can tell us, Craig and Brian, how you feel on @Take2Podcast.com or @Take2Podcast.
Yeah.
You can tell us @Take2Podcast on Twitter, or you can tell Brian Thomas what you feel about it @Batman vs. James Bond.
Yeah.
Is that his Twitter?
That is his Twitter.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty easily findable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Batman vs. James Bond show. It is the most popular Batman vs. James Bond podcast out there.
Right, which is why we are glomming on as quickly as we are to this.
Yeah. And in fact, if Brian Thomas decides not to continue with the show, or he's too busy, or his back is broken, we might just take over.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what we need to do.
We tried to do it before when he actually did the show.
Right, exactly.
This isn't about
I mean, I remember when Batman broke his back, and then Azrael had to come, and he took over as Batman. That's pretty much what we're doing.
So we're Azrael.
Right, and we don't care. We just kill people.
Wow, I have no hair, and you definitely don't have blonde hair.
No.
That's okay. In certain lights, it kind of reflects.
It does. What about that whole muscles thing?
This is one thing that Brian Thomas, never did. He never, went off on a tangent.
No, he was very, what's the word?
Regimented?
Professional?
Professional.
Professional. We are not.
Yeah, that was in that sociology class I never took.
No. I mean, I majored in it. Didn't take a lot of classes.
Professionals.
Professional?
Yeah. That was a good one.
Biff pow! Alright, so that is all of the Batman news that I have. What do you have for Mr. Bond, sir?
Bond. James Bond. Bum ba bum 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 bum. See, now he can throw in the Bond.
Right.
Like, the transition should either be the gunfire or just the music.
Or some...
Ooh,
that would be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Okay. Or he just sticks with the Batman.
Just do that the whole time.
I have big, huge James Bond news. There's not a lot of it, but it's as big as it gets. James Bond 25, we're going to count that way, because you can count a couple other ones to make it 27.
Right, yeah, but they're counting at 25. We'll count 25.
Yeah, we'll go. James Bond 25, booked, done deal. They start filming December 3rd. Booked, done deal. They have a director, they have a Bond, they have a screenplay writer, all done.
That's impressive. That means I'm hoping this means it's actually happening.
Yep.
Right?
At this point, I think they're at point of no return, because they have release dates and everything. So the director is Mr. Danny Boyle.
I'm totally down with that.
Winner of Best Director for Slumdog Millionaire.
Yes.
Also directed Trainspotting and many other films. He even directed James Bond before.
Did he? I did not know.
In the 2000 we're going to go 12, don't quote me on that, I should have written that down, but 2012 Olympics that were in London.
Yes.
The opening ceremonies, there was a clip where James Bond came in and met with the Queen.
Yes.
Daniel Craig. He directed that. Yeah, so he's technically a veteran James Bond.
That's more than us.
I'm more than happy with this.
Yes.
With Boyle being picked as the director. I think he'll do a great job.
I think he'll do a really good job.
He's popular in Britain and in the UK as a director. He knows the ins and outs, and he's already had. We'll circle back to this. Some ideas going forward with what he wants to do with his film.
That's good. I like people that come in with ideas of what they want to do.
Now, sometimes you get an amazing director, but you don't get a good screenplay writer. Good news for you, sir. Nominated for Best Screenplay for Trainspotting was someone he's worked with before, Mr. John Hodge, who wrote that, and he's written many, many other great works.
Yes.
He's doing this.
Very nice. So you got people that already collaborate together working on this. I think it's
work
perfect.
well together. They get nominated together. They win awards together, and now they're going to be collaborating on this. Now, the last thing we need is a James Bond.
Good. And unfortunately, we're both busy around December.
Yes. Yeah, we were up for it, but folks, we had to say no.
We had to say no.
A, we have our own show, Take Two podcast.
Right.
And then we also are taking over another show, the Batman vs. James Bond show.
Right.
From Thomas Brian Thomas.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. You have to say it next time.
You have to say that. Just like that.
So we're a little busy. So they decided not to get somebody new. They'll go with someone that they've already had. Pierce Not Pierce Brosnan.
Oh.
Would you have been cool if they brought
I would have been totally cool with Pierce Brosnan.
He probably still looks good.
He probably looks exactly the same.
I hate him so
I
much,
know.
just for that reason. No, Daniel Craig is coming back.
Oh. And how much did they have to pay Mr. Craig to get him to come back?
Did you see this? Are you spoiling my notes?
I am not, but I know that it is a crap ton, I am assuming.
50 million pounds.
So what's that, like $6? I don't know how that will pound.
$650.
Oh, okay, $650.
Total $650 in US dollars.
Okay, gotcha.
50 million pounds. I did have to Google a converter to see what that was because
Right.
I don't know the conversion rate. It converts to $66 million. $66 million to play James Bond.
That is
Already
more
done
than
5
like
times.
budgets of movies.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And I mean, I can't imagine what the budget of a general James Bond movie is going to be. You're probably talking well over 100.
Easily.
So you add that salary in, you're talking maybe a $200.
He better be
$200
amazing.
million budget.
He better get freaking nominated for this.
Maybe that's what he's hoping.
I hope so. All right, so with that, they asked Danny Boyle about it and what direction does he want to go with the film, and they admitted that they felt that Spectre was a mistake, and that trying to interconnect the 3 films together with Skyfall and Casino Royale, and what they tried to put them all together was a mistake. They shouldn't have tried to do that.
Right.
Because although there are connections through Bond films, they have never really connected storylines completely together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They've never done like universe like that.
Yeah,
We're all
and an arc and what have you.
Yeah.
And so they said, it did play well. Some people did like it, but overall it didn't get well received, and therefore the box office reflected that. So they are going to go not a different direction, but they're going to get away from that.
Okay.
So we won't have to deal with that orphan
More of just a
storyline or
one-off.
what have you.
Yeah, Bond movie like they usually do.
Yeah, there will be references to the previous films, obviously, because you have the same Bond. You have Craig playing in it again, but those are wraps. So don't worry about it being. This is going to be better. Plenty of action. There won't be as many gadgets. Like he's on that progression. Like he's getting gadgets, getting more and more gadgets. So, but it is still going to be that gritty detective style.
Okay, good.
Bond that Craig has been.
I
doing.
like that. So
Yeah. So everything that we loved about Casino Royale, I think is the direction Boyle's going to go.
Good.
Which is good because that's my favorite Bond film.
I would agree.
You'll agree that it's my favorite?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was an easy one for you.
You're right. You're welcome.
Okay, so that's all the Bond news that we have. It's huge news. And
Huge
it comes
news.
out. What did I have here? November 8th.
Okay.
November.
They already got a date.
Yeah, and
2019,
actually,
I assume?
I totally forgot about this. In the UK, Bond films always open early.
Because of time difference?
Yes.
Okay.
It's always backwards because normally you get films in America first and then they go to UK. Like they always complain about that.
Right.
That it comes out later, but Bond films always come out earlier. So October 25th, we get Bond 25, and which will have a different name by then, I think.
I hope. Probably. I hope so.
But we'll get it November 8th of 2019.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
I'm excited.
I shall ask you, sir.
Yes.
Bond is known for its action,
It is.
spyness,
Spyiness. Yes.
its gadgets,
Gadgets.
and its
Ladies.
ladies, Bond girls. Well
Nice.
done. Well done. Any guesses who the next Bond girl
Ooh.
could, would, should be?
I think it's got to be somebody who's big now, which would make sense. See, the problem is I'm not cool, so I don't really know who's popular now.
Agree, disagree. Agree, disagree.
Who is the woman in Gotham and Deadpool?
Oh my god, I'm madly in love with her.
That should be it.
Yes,
that lady.
Morena Baccarin.
That's it. That should be that lady.
I will.
She seems very popular
I will
nowadays.
get behind that cause of her getting cast
Got it. Got it.
as the next Bond girl. That would be fantastic. I didn't even mean for that one to go there.
Sure,
but
sure.
it did.
Sure you didn't.
All right, so here's a few off the top. I looked up a couple of polls, people who want the next Bond girl to be.
Okay.
And I'm just going to throw
Hit me with it. Hit me.
10, 15, 30 names at you real quick. You can just yay, nay.
Got it.
Emily Blunt.
I'm good with that.
Scarlett Johansson.
No.
Pretty sure it's Johansson, but
Is the J silent? Like
I don't know.
Yogging?
Depending on... She tells people she was born in a foreign country, so it's Johansson.
Johansson.
She's really from Alabama. It's just Johansson.
Johansson.
All right, so no on the ScarJo.
I don't think so. I don't see that.
Okay. Kerry Washington.
I don't know who that is. This is it's going to be yay, nay, or huh? I think is what it's going to have to be.
She's in Scandal, light skin.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
I know her now.
Okay, I think they might go no on Kerry Washington because they have Naomi Harris. Well, they favor each other.
Okay.
Both light skin, black girl, very cute. I think they would favor each other too much, so they might
Gotcha. That makes sense.
just cast otherwise. Natalie Portman.
I mean, I like her as an actress. I just don't see her as Bond girl material.
Agreed. Emma Watson.
I could see that.
I
could see that.
Has she shook the... This would shake
the Hermione thing.
Hermione image.
Right.
Hermione
image.
This would shake it.
This would definitely do that. I could possibly see that. I would even possibly give you a Ginny Weasley, the younger sister.
Remember that part when you said you weren't cool?
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Yep, you're right.
Okay, cool.
Emily Ratajkowski.
Did I go to prom with her?
Yep.
Okay.
Congrats. She's a supermodel. She was the one that was like naked in the one video, the Robin Thicke video.
Oh, the Blurred Lines video?
Yeah.
They got in trouble? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they get in trouble for it?
He got in trouble for it, I believe, yeah.
He lost his wife over it.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Priyanka Chopra.
I know that name.
You do know her. I promise you know her.
I promise I know her. Right?
I was going to describe her by saying she's attractive, but that's a Bond girl.
Yeah, that doesn't really help. Mm-hmm.
How about this one?
Is she the one from Quantico?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sounds right.
Yes.
Don't quote me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Gal Gadot.
She would definitely work.
I think she's too big.
That's the thing. She doesn't need
She's too committed to Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
To do it.
I mean, I'm not... I don't feel that being a Bond girl is necessarily going to muddy any waters, but, like, why wash down her Wonder Woman brand by then doing a Bond movie as well? Like, unless... If they wanted to go completely different and do more of a Bond girl villain with Gal Gadot, I could see that. Because then she's doing something completely different from Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And I think that would actually be interesting.
It also may be a page out of Henry Cavill just did Mission Impossible.
That's true.
So
maybe they're having sort of a contest to be like, who could be in as many franchises as possible.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, just a couple more and we'll wrap up here. Margot Robbie.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Same thing, though. She doesn't need it.
No, not at all. But, maybe her dream is to be in a Bond.
Maybe, yeah.
Zoe Saldana.
That I could see, too.
Yeah.
I could see that, too.
And she does need it because now that she's...
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to spoiler alert.
I think we already did.
Anybody see Avengers Infinity War? Because she died.
Not editing any of that out, but
nope.
Please continue.
All right. Underrated fan favorite, Haley Atwell.
Ooh. Interesting. I could probably see that.
I see her as being how Vesper was, where she was like an agent also.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Kind of typecasting because she was, Peggy Carter.
Right, but yeah, I would see her more as that than just
yeah, where she was a good guy also
right.
that had a chemistry with him, and maybe by the end they get together, but
yeah.
not the ultimate. How about Anne Hathaway, Penelope Cruz, Kate Beckinsale? Any of them? Too old, all three.
I don't know if I would say too old. I just don't see them doing it. Okay. I can't picture. Maybe Penelope Cruz. I'm actually surprised she hasn't already done it. I'm surprised she didn't do it in the Pierce Brosnan era.
That's true. She got beat up by like Halle Berry.
Yeah. And Denise Richards.
So let's circle back into Denise Richards.
Wasn't her name Christmas?
Yeah. And she was a rocket scientist.
Right.
That was when we were like, Pierce, think we're good.
Right. Because this year Christmas came early. That's the only reason I remember.
That was her line. All right, so we're going to circle back a little bit to Gal Gadot and some of them. They did ask Danny Boyle about Bond girls. And he had no idea about casting just yet. And they asked him about a Bond girl in 2019. They're not exactly your Ursula Andrews getting washed up on the beach with a skimpy white bikini anymore.
You got to do a little more.
We have a whole era of Me Too and etc. So he said he's very familiar. That came out wrong. He said he's very finger on the pulse of the Me Too movement and what have you. He said he does have to stay true to the characters for these Bond women, but he will write it properly for the time and age.
Yeah.
You have to write the times.
And I think that would actually be why I might lean to somebody like Emma Watson, who's real big into that Me Too movement, to get somebody who's on there and be like, kind of make sure that it's going in the right path, instead of old misogynistic.
So that means
Bond.
he's going to cast Rose McGowan.
Probably, yes.
No, thanks.
Would she have a machine gun for a leg?
Yes.
Then, totally down.
Tweet or email or text if you have his number, Brian Thomas. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And let him know who you think the next Bond girl should be, or multiple. They've had multiples in the past few films.
They have.
A couple of them. So who do you think? Who's your vote? Who do you want in there as a Bond girl going forward? And are you excited for Daniel Craig? Should this be Daniel Craig's last movie? Are you excited for Danny Boyle and John Hodge to be, penning and directing? Mm-hmm. I would say I am.
Yeah,
yes,
I think we definitely are. We definitely are.
Yeah, and I think I can get behind Gal Gadot doing the.
I think I could now too.
A little Morena Baccarin and Gal Gadot.
I think I'd be down with that.
I think I just admitted that I like brunettes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did.
I don't mind.
What color hair does your wife have?
It's brunette.
Is it?
It is brunette. No, wait, it's not right now. Shoot, it's red.
Yeah.
Whoops. I just remembered. So anyway, speaking of wives.
Yes.
Brian Thomas. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How'd he swing that?
I don't know.
She's pretty.
I know.
I'm comfortable
and
saying
she
that.
cosplays with him, too.
Yes.
Weird.
And she puts up with his crap.
Right.
And
I can't imagine how much those suits he wears cost.
There's so many pictures he puts on Instagram of him like posing and modeling.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's got to take the
Someone's
photos.
got to take them.
I don't like that's that typical, and you and I are probably guilty of it as well. Of like a straight up nerd marrying way out of his league.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Just getting this knockout stunner.
We completely understand that as well.
Because as much as we like Brian,
right?
You guys are.
They should start I wonder if his wife's in like a support group, like wives of Instagram models. Like probably mostly husbands, but
yeah.
I would assume there are probably some wives in there too.
Very good look. She's on the Instagram too, and I was like, wow,
yeah.
he swung that. Good for him, man.
Good for him.
Yeah, congrats. And congrats to her for having an amazing husband who gets to cosplay as Batman and James Bond and Instagram, and he used to have a really great podcast.
I know. And now we are bringing it back. So that people know that it's still here, so it can maybe ignite the fire within him to come back.
Ignite the bat nipples back.
Exactly. That's what we're hoping.
Yeah.
Inflate his Dr. No.
Nice.
Like that.
We're going to end the show with 38 references. That'll be horrible, each and every one. Mm-hmm. What minute mark are we at? Oh, my goodness. All right, this is a lengthy one. This is a lengthy one, folks. Okay, folks, in all honesty, we are good friends with Brian Thomas. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we love his show. We miss his show. If he doesn't bring it back, he doesn't bring it back. But we hope you guys do follow him on Instagram, the Batman vs. James Bond show, and follow Brian Thomas because he does put up a ton of great stuff. He does a ton of great charity work.
A lot of that.
Dresses up. He has the cosplay Batman stuff that he does at all of the cons.
He does cosplay Bond stuff too.
Yeah, and he's very approachable. Yeah. Like at any of the events that he goes to, what have you.
Loves to take pictures, loves to... he goes hospitals for the kids. He does all that stuff.
And so that's a big reason that we love the show and that we're good friends with him. Again, we are at Take Two Podcast. I'm Brian and he's Craig. And we have a couple of other hosts over there. Our shtick is we do TV, movies, and Hollywood reviews. And we also have a bunch of spin-offs where we have one called Spotlight, where we go over a director or a filmmaker or an actor or actress do their entire life and career. We have one called Soundtracks, where we break down the entire soundtrack of a movie, break down every single song. It's great. We have one called The Realm of Take Two, which deals with the fantasy world of movies and comics and TV. And then we have our super popular wrestling spinoff called Take Two Takedown. That's a weekly show that you also get on top of our regular weekly show from Take Two Podcast. So give us a listen if you guys get a chance. But more importantly, hit up Brian Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
And let him know that we want his show back. Even if it's like bi-weekly maybe, or just like monthly, like he checks in.
Something. We need you in our life. Brian Thomas. Oh, yeah.
Yes, you got one in there.
We got one in there.
Love it. Any closing remarks?
No, that's it. Just come back, Brian, is all we ask.
We miss you.
The world and the fans need you.
Yeah. I was going to start singing We Are the World. I don't know why. You said world, and I was going to sing.
I mean, we could still do that.
We are the world.
Thanks for listening to the Batman vs. James Bond podcast. Blah, blah, blah. Thanks for listening to the Batman vs. James Bond podcast, brought to you by Take Two Podcast this week.
Have a good night, everybody.
Peace.